Hello everyone. So this is a tutorial for you on turning in your papers to Turnitin.com. All right. So first of all, we want to navigate to Turnitin.com. Here's the address right here. So you can either use the link on Schoology if your teacher gave you one, or just type in www.turnitin.com. And it's really easy. Don't worry. I wanted to make a video though because there's like a lot of steps, but none of them are too hard. You'll do fine. So we're going to go ahead and start off by clicking Login in the upper right hand corner right here. And before you start, it's super important to make sure that you're logged into your school Google account on your browser. Okay. So we're going to click Login. And I've got some login information here. Don't worry, you don't have to type anything in. This is just because Mr. Letourneau is super old, and my Turnitin.com account is also super old. So it was before Google was around. So what we want to do is, we're not going to bother with these boxes. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about this login button right here. You guys already have accounts too. You don't have to create an account because we're just going to sign in with Google. Okay, so we're going to click on this sign in. All right, guys, I just had to take a little part out of there. Once I clicked login with Google, a pop-up showed up. You just want to click on your own Google account, and then once you log in, it'll take you to this screen if it's the first time you're using this. So some of you guys might have already done this in history, so you've already done this step, but for those of you who are kind of rookies at Turnitin.com, you'll get this screen right here. Again, veterans, you've already seen it. You just want to agree to the user agreement. All right, now if it's your first time using Turnitin.com, you'll have an enroll in a class button right here. Now again, some of you guys may have already enrolled in your history class. So you'll have your history class here, which is cool, but then you don't have the enroll in class button here. If you have a class here already and the button's not here, you can use the button up here in the upper left, okay? So I'm gonna enroll in the class. Okay, now for this step, I'm going to need the class section ID and in the enrollment key from my teacher, right? So this really depends on, it's very specific to your class, okay? So like for example, for my students, for Mr. Letourneau, if you guys look in Schoology, in the folder for the week of October 5th, on Friday's folder, I have a page with the section ID and the enrollment key, okay? For other classes, it's just going to depend on where your teacher gave you guys that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead. All right, guys, I'm back. So the class ID is generally going to be a bunch of numbers, and then the enrollment key is going to usually be like a password, okay? So I went ahead and added that for this student for my period 7. Now, if you notice now, this person is enrolled in this class, right? So what I want to do is click on the class name over here on the left side. Okay. And for example, my students are turning in their narrative. There's some papers for the future, but if you notice, it's nice because they're grayed out, so I can't actually submit yet, right? So you want to go ahead and turn in your narrative, right, for all the English people out there. So we're going to click submit. Okay, now there is kind of a weird little bug here, where Turnitin requires a submission title. So for my students, I just told them either put the title of their narrative or they can just write narrative here as a placeholder. Either one's fine for me, but of course your teacher might have some different instructions, so please follow those. And I'm gonna leave everything else how it is, single file upload. It already has my name on here. Or actually the name of the student. She was gracious enough to let me use her account to make this video for you guys, which is super awesome because it's a little bit complicated. I think a video is probably the best, right? So we're going to go ahead and click on Choose from Google Drive. So I'm going to click on this, and if it's the first time you're using this, it's going to ask you to link your account, okay? Or actually, it might do it every time. So I don't want you to see her email, so I'm going to cut this part out, so I'll see you in a second. It's going to ask you to allow Turnitin to use Google Drive, and you want to allow it. That's okay, don't worry. You're not going to get it like a computer virus, or you're not going to get COVID-19 from this, don't worry. Okay, so now we've got our drive, and what you want to do is make sure to find your correct file that you want to link. So I found that that's the one that she told me was the correct one. So now we're going to click the upload button. Now, we're not actually turning it in yet. So sometimes I have some students that get confused and they think, hey, I pressed upload, and they're like, I'm out, and they just shut it down. We haven't turned it in yet. We've only uploaded the file, so it's ready to get turned in, but it hasn't been turned in yet. There's another step, okay? So it says right up here, please confirm that this is the file you'd like to submit. So this is actually good. You can check the file to make sure this is your narrative and it's not like a science report or like a history DBQ, right? So we're going to click on it, but hey, if I click on it, you might say, Letourneau, you're not a very good teacher. This is too small. I can't read it, right? There is a button over here to maximize it, to make it bigger. And then I can see, oh, okay, yeah, this looks like a narrative to me, right? This is probably correct, okay? So now I'm going to press the confirm button, okay? And da-da, I got a little congratulations, your submission is complete. So what you got, that's not until you get this, but once you get this congratulations, you know you've actually turned it in, so you're good. All right, so I hope that helped you guys out with turning in your papers on Turnitin.com, and hope you're good. All right, thanks guys.